Hello and welcome, folks, to another edition of RSF Radio, the podcast where we talk about what's been going on the front page of our Street Fighter. But I have a special returning guest. I got Amanda Stevens on the line, ready to spit some hot fire. You're ready. You're raring, ready to go.
I am very ready for tonight. I just got fired, so
oh fuck! You are I did not know that part of it.
Yeah, I've been drinking alcohol all day. I haven't really been eating a lot of food, so I'm just ready.
Oh, okay. Esports. You got to eat all the sports. Hot damn. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know it was gonna be like that, but now it's one of those shows.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
No, cool. So in that space and time though, what's on the page? What do you got? What's the plan? What are you doing moving forward?
So right now, I'm doing the same thing you always gotta do when you get fired. You update your resume, right. You send out feelers, you rant on Facebook about how shitty the company you worked for was. Maybe you tell the CEO, maybe you tell the CEO of the company that he's a dumbass. You do a bunch of different things when you get fired.
Fair.
So right now the main goal is to, tomorrow's the 4th of July, so I'm going to take a mental health day,
right?
Play some video games with friends. I have stuff coming up on other websites that'll be coming out this week. And then I guess prepare for Defend the North. I wasn't going to cover it in a serious fashion, but, fire me and you light a fire under my ass. So we're going to be doing some fun shit for the neutral while we're at Defend the North, which I guess is the new thing, right? That wasn't a thing the last time I was on the show.
Yeah, that's kind of been your latest project of bringing people on to the neutral and running interviews there. And that's that I would guess is now main focus while also looking for work.
Yeah, I'm still writing for Jinx eSports Television, and I have to give these guys a shout out.
Oh yeah,
I got brought on by somebody named Josh Raven, something like 2-3 years ago, and he's left, and I stayed, and then my next editor came on, and we bashed heads a lot, and then we came to an understanding, and I've been there for 3 years, and every time I think I have a new full-time job or something, Jinx is like, all right, do whatever you want, we'll be here, and when I come back, they're always there for me. They're always got their arms open. So, I really got to give Jinx Esports Television just a huge thank you because, they, even though they've their interest in fighting games has waned over the years, they've still had my back when other websites have been assholes.
No, I think that is something I think to bring up specifically with Jinx is that they don't necessarily give a lot of coverage to fighting games. So if you're listening to the show and this is the first time you've heard of Jinx Esports, you'd be like, what the fuck is this? What I'll tell you is that anything that I've read on that site has been pretty much done by someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about in terms of fighting games and given a pretty wide leash of what they can cover. And it's usually pretty good stuff in my opinion. But I don't know if that has been your experience there, but
oh no! Like I said, I've worked for a lot of sites over the years. I've been over Rest in Peace PvP Live, Rest in Peace Slingshot Esports, Rest in Peace VP Esports. I've written for Riot Games. I've written for Esports Heaven. I've written for Red Bull Esports, which I guess is kind of Rest in Peace. I've been everywhere.
Kind of no. It's they said
my work appeared on Shoryuken without my permission. I've been everywhere.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Red Bull. Though.
I'm sorry, folks. You're gonna hear a lot of salt today. So if you're not in the mood for salt, this might not be your podcast.
Red Bull's kind of funny though, because they were we're out of the game. Sorry, fam. And then, a couple weeks later was here's this incredible, video content that tells a story about the FGC. And I'm like, huh? Thank you for doing that, because, that's a fun thing that you did. But also, I thought you said you guys, it's they had to come back. They had to come back. Once you go FGC, you can't go back.
Right. It's true, though.
Or your company goes under. It's one or the other.
Yeah, one of those two.
It's one of those two. No, that's cool. That's cool. So in terms of what what would be next? Because freelance work in the FGC is really, man, is it not? It is not a financially good situation.
Yeah. So I mean, so right now, as many people who are regulars of the subreddit have seen me do Street Fighter content for the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. That's not actually like my primary income. I cover the what we refer to as sort of the mainstay games. So I cover League of Legends, Overwatch, and CS:GO. Those have always been the games that have covered the bills.
Right.
To be completely honest, and very similarly to something that Born Free has been very open about, I'm pretty much just considering potentially just like not making content anymore.
Yeah.
It's just that like I'm 31. I'm not getting any younger, and I haven't found much success finding a full-time job in esports. And to give you guys some context, 40 days ago, I was signed on, roughly 45 days ago, I was signed by Upcomer for $1,000 a month. Shortly thereafter, I had my contract terminated and was asked to reapply for the site. I did. And I took a contract that would make me $560 a month. And then I went to a international League of Legends event called Rift Rivals in Los Angeles, California. I produced 5 articles for them. Unlike r/Street Fighter, it's pretty hard to make the League of Legends front page. 3 of my articles made the League of Legends front page of the 5 that I wrote. And I got back from LA on Tuesday. And today I received an email around 1 p.m. Today's the 3rd. I received an email around 1 p.m. that my contract was terminated.
Damn.
So
at will employers, apparently.
Yeah. So when people think, esports, they think that we have like this big money. Everyone always assumes that these companies fly me out to events, right? Or that, they give me this huge budget because and this comes up a lot because I'll like talk to interpreters and they're like, oh yeah, so my rent's like $300 and I know you can afford it because you like work in esports. And I'm like, yeah, $300 is what I'm making from this event. So no.
That's like the weird thing, right? And I feel like I've talked about this enough on this show, and I feel like it's been said by enough of the people who work in the industry that like ain't no money. Like the people who are putting out work are not getting like reimbursed for this stuff. If anything, they're like just making even on like even like a regular event, or if they have even if they have something in front of their name, like it came up during the nominations for our Street Fighter.
Born Free. So just so you guys know, I don't know if you've heard from Born Free. Born Free doesn't get paid by UIU on a regular basis. They might have contracted him for appearing at events with them in the past, but by no means is he like a UIU employee.
Right. He's not getting the 401k. Listen, I understand that you are an esports unicorn, but you show me someone in esports with a 401k, that's a real unicorn right there. That's some of the real.
Yeah, I mean, so like
someone in esports with a retirement plan, that's where are those people?
Yeah, I mean, that's the type of stuff that I like wanted to come on today to talk about, because like there's like these 2 modes that the FGC seems to have about esports. Mm-hmm. One, that like we're all like swimming in money and we've got the big bucks and shit, right? And the other thing is that we're like savage vultures. And one of those is true and the other one isn't. And I'll let you know, it's not the swimming in the big bucks. Like, yeah, a company like Cloud9 has a ton of money, and Forbes wrote about them being like one of the most profitable esports orgs on like the planet. But like the trickle down to people like me, to Born Free, Estevez, High Fight, I think the only person who's like really fucking killing it is Corey Gaming. Like I think his Patreon's like almost like $1,000 a month or something. Like he's the only one who's killing it. Right? You guys love our content, and like when I see a Born Free interview goes up and it hits like 10K views or something, that's maybe like $100.
Yeah, the return on that, and I mean he's been open about it too,
and that's being gracious, right?
Yeah,
right. That's like it's probably not $100.
No,
it's probably like 50.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's pre-tax. That's pre-tax 100. Even if it is 100, and we don't like to talk about that.
So the point of this rant that I'm getting to is that like there was this recent conversation that was like kind of started by Sajam about like where is all of the FGC content?
Yeah.
And I love Sajam, and I think that spurred a lot of people to make some really cool content. Right? There's Equinox has a show with Sajam. Like afternoon tea, like tea, whatever. You know, Vicious and Alex Myers now have Run It Back. You know, there are pro players making more diverse.
Yeah, he was on the show last week or the week before?
Yeah,
week before.
Yeah, so you know, it did spur a lot of people to like make cool content. But I like want you guys to understand something. There's no money in the FGC. So, like, when y'all keep talking about, like, why do the same people get interviewed? Or how come nobody covers X poverty game? Or whatever. It's because, like, there's no money. I barely make money interviewing Daigo, right? And we're not talking per click. We're just talking about, like, return on investment, right? Like, the people who pay for me to pay for who pay me for my content, they need to see something in return.
Right.
And like, I'll be honest with you, like when Scar won Combo Breaker, I was like, yo, Jinx, I'm pretty cool with the endemic esports people. I'm pretty sure we could be like the first people to interview him after Combo Breaker. It's going to be hype. MK is like the biggest game right now. And they're like, yeah, we tried to do some MK content and it just didn't pan out. I know that there's that fuckboy. What's his name? He writes for like Kotaku and Polygon and shit.
Are you talking about Ian?
Yeah, let's talk about this motherfucker.
All right. I will come to Ian's defense occasionally, but I will accept calling him a fuckboy because he can be someone insufferable, but also he knows that.
Yeah, but this dude tried to subtweet me a while back when I said that y'all need to show up if you want better content, and was like, no, you just need to write better content. My dude, you don't even know me. Pop off my nuts. Like, No, I'm not gonna let you defend this one.
Yeah, that's not true. That is not true, because like great content gets nothing in return, because like the community itself is already so small, and then you're looking at a subset of that already small community who would be further excited by like even like something to read something. That's so few numbers. If you have like good video content, maybe you'll catch a wide net of the FGC, but it's not a guarantee. And all of those people have their ad blocker on, so you actually
and let me be real. Ian writes some good shit. This isn't like if anybody wants to come into the comments of this episode and be like, but Ian writes really great stuff. Remember that piece he wrote about Eunice? Yeah, that article about Eunice was dope. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, let's put it this way. So maybe some of you are active on social media, and you may or may not have seen a post go around where two people are working in an office together, one of them male and one of them female, and they get to talking about their salaries, and it becomes very clear that these two people with the exact same background, one of them was getting paid a lot more than the other. And so the coworker brings this to the attention of the employer, and with that known knowledge, right, they were able to push for the other coworker to get good money. What is the point of this story? The point of this story is not to take the opportunity to piss in somebody else's cornflakes to make yourself look good in the community.
Right. That's true.
What 100% should have happened during that situation is Ian Taylor should have said, yo, this is fucked, and yeah, I'm getting a lot of bread right now, but like we need to figure out a way for everybody else to get bread. Right? Like, he needed to take the Justin Wong approach. Justin Wong isn't like getting all of these fucking sponsorships, right? And saying like, yo, let me sit on my money carpet. Right? Dude's got a wife and a kid. He could easily do that. Instead, he's like, yo, let me help other people.
Yeah.
In the same vein, instead of Ian Taylor trying to subtweet a bunch of motherfuckers,
Ian
like
Walker,
he's some cool motherfucker himself, maybe he should be trying to help everybody else get the same bread he's getting.
The fire is coming. Ian Walker, by the way.
Yeah.
Not Ian Taylor. But
all right, Ian Walker.
That's fine. I just wanted to get it right. Now, if we're gonna send hate, in the direction, we got to send it in the right direction. Let's just make sure we're accurate with our fire here. And right? I'm in agreement with you there in that you look at someone like Justin, right? And he's like, granted, Justin this is like upper echelon of people who have any kind of pull or influence within the FGC.
Fine, let's go with Problem X.
Okay, there you go. Let's go with
Problem X. Like, Mouse Sports is a big org, but I would be very surprised if Mouse Sports is paying him Echo Fox money, right?
Right.
And yet, how long has he been sponsoring people like Foxy Grandpa and Jester Power?
True. That's
right? So let's not go upper echelon. Like, he's upper echelon now, but he's always had Jester Power and Foxy Grandpa's back.
Mm-hmm.
Since before he was Evo champion Problem X. All right, so let's go with Problem X then, right? Like, it's a thing that happens in the FGC. You see a lot of pro players, once they get some money, they try to spread it around, right? Knuckle Dew, after he won Capcom Cup, was like, I'm going to start sending players to events, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and like
right? So what I'm saying is that as content creators, maybe we should do the same thing. Maybe we should stand together, right?
That could
and not subtweet people.
And not, well, because there's
in a non-productive fashion.
Because there's a dying corpse of money, which is esports, and we can't. There's no one can afford to be vultures, right? You have to like look at that. Look at what's left. You have to look at the two fish and one loaf of bread, and say, how can we share this between a whole bunch of people and like by some miracle work turn that into something, instead of just taking the whole fish for yourself. But to that end, I'll also say Mena RD invested a lot into, the whole Dominican Republic. There's just so many reoccurring instances of people who have, like, I don't even necessarily want to say made it, but people who have influence, have used that and leveraged that to benefit, like, the net whole. I would even go as far to say, like, events that are run, like premier events. Let's even look at like budgets for premier events. I actually think that this is something that Rick, the Fudo on Twitter, has been very open about.
And Logan brought this up on his episode of The Neutral.
Mm-hmm. Well, you bring it up in like when he runs Combo Breaker. He was very open about, well, we're trying to do as much as we can and grow this event as much as we can, but like if we make a little bit of money at the end of the day, then that's just like, he's like breaking even with all this stuff. It's not like they're making zillions of dollars for running an event. So like that's, even though the production looks incredible and everything that comes out of it looks top tier and like, look, it is valuable and we see the value in it, right? Even when there is value to it, there's not like a huge kickback on the back end, right?
Yeah.
It's not there.
I just think that it's very interesting that you say that. So I've been finding out since I've been doing The Neutral that a lot of these people play Magic the Gathering. And there's probably a bunch of you listening to the show right now that have at some point probably played competitive Magic the Gathering. Mainly because people who like to play 1v1 games play a lot of different 1v1 games. You know, that's why a lot of FGC people play, games like Fortnite, or they play games like For Honor, right? Because they like the challenge of my skill versus someone else's skill,
right?
Not my skill and the rest of my team's skill versus somebody else's skill. There's a TO. There's a formerly very large TO in the Northeast named Tom Shea, and he used to run a lot of the Grand Prix on the East Coast. Think majors, right? Mm-hmm. Think something like your Combo Breaker, and a Pro Tour event would be a super premier like Evo, all right? So he used to run a lot of Grand Prix and 5K events, right? And 10Ks, meaning the prize pool was 10K split among the top 16. He would say to people, if they ever wanted to run their own tournament, that the best way to make money in Magic is to never run an event. This is one of the premier honestly. TOs on the Northeast in Magic the Gathering, which is not a small game,
right?
For TJ's Collectibles, telling people that if you want to make money as a TO, you don't run events. You just have a really good store. Similarly, you can probably extrapolate that and probably apply it to things like CEO, like Combo Breaker, right? Like Final Round, right?
True.
That there is not a ton of money to be made in running these amazing events that you guys love.
And there's probably not a whole lot of money in the streaming of it either. Actually, maybe,
I mean, look at Team Spooky.
Maybe there is.
People lost their shit because he made his chat sub only.
Right. But he financially had to, and he was open about that.
But that's I guess what's going to happen today, folks, if you hear anything from me, it's that like y'all we talk about how we're so much better than the rest of esports because we're grassroots, right? Because we try to grow at our own pace, because we try to look after each other. And y'all are like kind of killing it for your players. And I guess to an extent that, you know, I haven't heard, like, none of the TOs are saying how they're like living in cardboard boxes yet. But you're not killing it for the people who like make sure that the rest of the world knows that the FGC is a thing that needs to be invested in.
I guess that's because now I'm thinking about this, because I've been thinking about this a lot lately, is with the platforms that we currently use and where online traffic is filtered to, like, who is going to then be in control of all of the messaging that comes out of these events when they happen? Will it be under anyone's control? Because, like, you see articles from Capcom proper. They're actually running articles now, which is good.
Which, you know, Virginia's doing a great job of, and Michael did that really great Broly Legs interview today, or piece, I guess, feature.
Yeah, I guess that was just a player feature, I suppose. Well, yeah, I guess what do you call that? Because, like, well, no, because he's going to be in season 2. Because, but anyway, so anyway, like, they're running stuff, but that's not journalism. I mean, it kind of is journalism, but it's like the Washington Post reporting that the Washington Post is doing great, right? Like, it's kind of self-proclaimed, like, or like they can say whatever they want, basically. Whereas, like, there's no one else doing, or at least there might not be money later on for people who are willing to like hold feet to flames, right? I think about Twitch a lot. I mean, shit, we have Mr. Disrespect back on Twitch now, right? And there are people in the FGC who have been booted off Twitch for question mark reasons for months now that have gotten zero response. And it's just because, I mean, I fucking get it. Like, we don't pull numbers in. We don't get enough views to make these other huge websites money. I mean, shit, even our Street Fighter, it's not a huge subreddit in comparison to other gaming subreddits. It's just not. It is definitely small enough where we can basically a very small number of people could control whatever is viewed on the sub. Like, if something gets 10 upvotes, that thing is like that will likely get more, just the way that Reddit works, that it will become visible on your front page if you subscribe to our Street Fighter. But if it gets like one downvote, then it's like you never see it. But, like, I don't know. I could get into that of like the science of how subreddits work and why it's actually okay if you post something to our Street Fighter and it gets like a little bit of attention, because then it's like globally it gets a lot more attention than it otherwise would. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought I warned you enough that there was going to be a lot of fire today.
That's, yeah. Hey, I mean, you did say that, and you got me thinking. And you know, it's one of those things where I don't ever know if, I guess that's like the defeatist part of me, right? And it is something that I've seen like not just like the way that I feel, but like you have expressed it on this show earlier, like Mark Born Free has expressed it, of like it might be done. Like you can only live for so long on pennies to the dollars that are elsewhere, because you could make money elsewhere reporting on like eSports proper, or like follow wherever that is, but within the FGC it's just not there.
Oh, I have 0 contracts for Evo right now. I'm still going to do coverage. I'm still paying a bunch of people out of my pocket to do coverage with me.
A part of that makes me feel like, because I think about this too, is that, and this kind of goes back to what Ian said, of what if you do make that content, right? Then it's like you make some like good, high quality, you put a lot of effort into it, quality content. It looks good, it looks clean, it looks neat. You've got like all the right messaging to go along with it. When people see that globally, they think, that's a professional outlet. It must be getting professional. It must have some kind of professional backing to it. Where like,
no, I just make sure that my shit looks good all the time.
Right. That's super not the case. And you actually have to really fucking hustle to get to that point, to then be competitive with anyone else who's making bullshit content. Like you, listener to this podcast, I put fucking 0 work into this shit. Look at me. I'm just talking into a microphone. I don't have things.
We don't have show notes today.
I don't have show notes today. I was on the edge of maybe not recording today because I was like, man, it's the holiday. I might just like drink all day and see you guys.
It's been a great idea.
On Friday, which, I tried to get into some of that later this afternoon. I wish I had sat down to this mic with a little more beers than I did. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. And I get a fiery Amanda Stevens on the show. So there is that. But
I mean, I guess the one thing that I really want to say, and this is actually a good thing about the community, is that, at least you guys look out for people, right? Like, at the end of the day, I mean, I know some behind the scenes stuff about the player sponsorship program of r/Street Fighter that I won't disclose at the moment, but at least you guys support these players, right? You buy their merch, and that helps them go, and that's really cool. And then I see you guys on Twitter. You guys get so hyped when like an EXO Academy person does well, or an E-Fight Pass person does well, or an r/Street Fighter sponsored player does well. Even if they flop in pools, I remember people were losing their shit when Maureen did like really well at Canada Cup in one of her matches. Like, I don't think she won the match. I think she just like won a round. But yeah, we're popping off for her like she had won the damn tournament. People lost their shit for P-Chan at final round, right? Mm-hmm. When she took a whole man's life and made him rethink all of his life choices in one round.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, those moments it gives people something to cheer for. It's a story. It's a human story. Human stories, I feel like, are still extremely compelling in the FGC. It's one of the places where they're the most compelling, I would say.
Yeah, and what I want you guys to do is to remember those moments and make sure that you keep supporting these people. Just because someone ends up a sponsored player doesn't mean that shit's all gravy, right? They still need your support. Sub to their stream. Donate 100 bits. It's $1, right? If you want to give me $1, like you don't want to give my Patreon $1, whatever, fuck it. You don't want to give Born Free $1, I mean, probably should. He's like 1,000 times better than me. But like 100 bits, you can buy bits wholesale. You can buy bits wholesale for like pennies on the dollar through Twitch sometimes. Just buy an F ton of bits and just give them to somebody.
I mean, if you subscribe to Amazon Prime, you get a subscription. You get a free.
You have a free sub.
Free Twitch.
Give it to somebody in the FGC. Don't give it to like Ninja. Ninja has enough subs.
You don't need it.
Give it to Vicious. Give it to Sage. Actually, Sageham's got a couple of subs. Give it to Vicious.
Give it to Vicious.
He can use a few more.
Give it to Alex Myers.
Give it to Alex Myers.
They're running good shit over there.
I'm just saying, like, support people more. Like, I know bread is hard to come by, But like, trust me, the more bread you spread around, the more bread that'll come back to you. That's how it works. Because if I give Mr. Joe Monday bread today, right? Mr. Joe Monday is gonna remember that bread for a very long time. And then there's gonna be a time where I'm gonna need some bread, and Joe Monday is gonna have like that crusty corner piece left. And like he's gonna give that to me because he's gonna remember the time that I gave him bread. People remember when you help out.
The FGC is like a very long telltale game. You give bread now, and the little thing in the corner pops up that says, Joe Monday will remember this.
Basically.
That goes on your save, and you cannot save scum in the FGC. People do try and save scum. I've seen some deleted tweets. I've seen it. They try and save scum. No, we remember that shit. We remember when you're there for us. We also remember when you're not. That's also part of it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm going to try to be less salty. Let's be some positive. So, we're going to get a season 2 of the Street Fighter League.
Yeah, man. Dude.
It got renewed.
Yeah. It got
And you know what's funny? Now everybody wants to be a part of it.
Here's the thing. All right, so I have to... Here's the thing.
I said I was going to be nice, and then I immediately threw shade.
No, because I think that is completely valid. That is 100% valid because now people see, oh, I saw that big-ass golf check. They had a big fucking golf check at the end. Oh, I want that golf.
I could win $10,000 personally.
I was flown to events. I was featured on a thing where I was guaranteed to like talking to a camera and
almost everybody got profiled.
Yeah,
on the Capcom site. I think almost everybody did.
Yeah,
a fairly good chunk.
I'm trying to think if anyone wasn't.
Up to Snuff did, Classico did, Rob TV did, Broly.
Psycho got one.
I think Psycho got one. I think not all of the captains did, and I think Shine and JB didn't, but that's because they're Shine and JB.
No, Shine. No, Shine.
I don't think he got an article.
Oh, he might.
They were on my show, but I don't think they got an article.
It might be something where like I feel like they planned to do all that stuff, but maybe sometimes Capcom don't get around to doing all the stuff that they need to do for these things.
I mean, I just think it was appreciative that some of the lesser known names.
Yes.
Definitely got the spotlight first, right? You know, the first feature wasn't Punk; it was, I think, Classico.
It might have been Psycho.
Okay. But yeah, so we have season 2.
Right. The thing is, it wasn't Punk, right? Or it wasn't Knuckle Dude, when it could have very easily been. But season 2 is coming around. You're right. However, I'm excited for it, right? I'm excited for it. And I think it's great that they're continuing to do it and that they're continuing to put money into this thing. That's great. That's fun. What I will continually be like, come on, you motherfuckers, is marketing and messaging for this thing. Are you fucking kidding me? It was the one announcement at CEO with a video being like, it's coming, and then one tweet the following day that was like, it's
all right.
It starts
Give
today.
Mama Dow a break. She got like stuck at an airport.
No, I get it. I get it and I don't get it, because what the thing linked to was then a link to the old Smash GG where it was like, okay, no, this isn't happening today. And listen, I love Carolyn. She's the best. This is why I'm selling this with a smile and not with hatred, because like it was like a fucking day. It was like 24 hours, right? Like not that huge a deal, but like also, but also, she should not be the only one in charge of that marketing. I don't think so. Am I wrong in thinking
that's fair. I mean, there's probably more people involved, so I don't want to I was just saying like let's be a little bit I mean, I'll say this: the pre stuff, right, for season 2 has not been stellar. However, the fact that they were able to get all of the gift packages into tenor and stuff, so that you can meme along with the broadcast. The fact that, you know, there are all these really great highlight videos.
Oh yeah.
They had the post game show with James Chen and Ultra David, right? You know, I always knew when the stream was happening. I think the production was very engaging. Like, the product itself was pretty good. Now, whether or not you like bands, right? That's a whole nother thing. But true. I'll be honest, bands gave us the best meme of that entire event, which was Free Laura. And then when we freed Laura, we found out that Laura wasn't the problem.
Right. Yeah, no, man. Like,
and we wouldn't have gotten that without bands.
That's
and I
true.
think that, you know, it's very interesting because a lot of the players have different perspectives on it. Like, I spoke to JB and I spoke to Shine, and they both had different perspectives. And Shine's opinion was that, like, yeah, it sucks that, like, I never get to play my character, but, like, that's kind of interesting to watch. Like, it might not be the highest level of gameplay, right? It's not going to be your Evo Sunday top 8, right? But it's still interesting to find out that, like, somebody actually plays, like, a pretty solid jury, right?
Yeah, no,
it was pretty interesting to see, you know, people pull out, like, Nakali and stuff. So, like, on that side, that was really cool. And then, on the other hand, you know, you got to see people open up players that you didn't think they could be opened up. Like, people thought, like, oh, it wouldn't matter what you banned for Justin, right? That he would just be fine on whatever he picked.
Right.
And then every time Justin played some nonsense character, he looked pretty free.
I mean, like,
and that was entertaining to watch.
Like,
I don't
Rob
care.
TV and like just episode 1. So it's just like,
I mean, I don't know why Justin picked Falk. I think that was a huge disrespect to Rob TV.
Maybe it might have been, but no, because he had been practicing Falk at that point. But I think maybe he realized that maybe he doesn't have a Falk.
Yeah, I don't think we saw it again.
I don't think we've seen it or in any tournament after that. I think he maybe Karen. Maybe he's gonna switch back to Karen. I think that might be the case.
So then here's my question for you. Now that we know that there's a season 2, right? You're Capcom, and you have to pick a CPT pro, so somebody who, let's say, is like top 50 on the ladder.
Okay, yeah, this is actually something I've been thinking about today. I thought about this in passing, but didn't like do the math on who it would be. Let me pull up.
So pick your captain, and then you got to pick your 2 players.
All right, what's the CPT ranking right now?
Oh man, I have it pulled up. I was prepared for this. I was like, I'm gonna surprise Joe Monday with quality content while drinking all day.
Letting me down. No, that's okay. I'm the one who's like not in it. Okay, let's see. Let's go US. Well, North America. Okay, so
I know who my captain is, but you might take him for me.
Shit, 801 Strider will be there. JB is number 2.
Oh right. So who are you picking as your captain? JB or 801 Strider?
Actually, I'm looking down this list. Nah, I'm taking Strider, of course. I think that's... All right,
so Strider's your captain.
He's fucking phenomenal. But down this list, I do want to bring up all top 6. I'm just going to name top 6 so people know. Is 801 Strider, JB, Knuckle Dew, Punk, Terrence, Soraku, by the way, number 5. I want to see that man up there. And then 6 is Shine.
But Shine's already on a team.
Oh, right. So then we drop down to dual.
Because he came in. Because didn't he come in second?
Yeah. He's
Shine, Sam. What is it? Shine.
And now it's dual Kevin.
Yeah.
Then it drops down to dual Kevin. That's really funny. Which dual Kevin, by the way, top 8 at CEO. That's my boy, dual Kevin. Woo! Hell yeah.
Marvel, let's go. When's Marvel? Baby? Capcom. When's Marvel?
Maybe never.
Don't say that. Look, I come here and I support your nonsense, fair fighting game community. You give me my cheap shit.
Here's the thing that we might see, and this is kind of an aside, maybe not a Marvel, but maybe like a Capcom versus game. And it might not be Capcom versus SNK, but it might be like a Capcom versus game. What if it was just like Capcom versus Capcom? Just like...
Well, it's just like Capcom versus Marvel?
Or no, just like previous Capcom characters, you know? Like...
Sure.
They've got a
So what you're saying is like Street Fighter versus like Mega Man.
Yeah, but like, you know, just Capcom in general. So you're just like fighting Cap. Anyway, that's kind of an aside. 801
so you pick Strider as your captain.
Oh, absolutely. Then
Because I got the dopest team in the world.
It depends on who's... Because people got to win some online tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that Chakote's coming back after winning an online tournament. I think he can do it. So maybe I get Chakote in it.
Mm-hmm.
But then
man, you're not ready for my team.
Smug.
Okay.
Who you gonna ban on Smug? Who you gonna ban?
All right.
Actually, now that I think about it, if 801 Strider's the captain, then you can just ban G, and then Smug is forced to play ball.
Yeah, you can't take Smug.
And then Smug, you can't take Smug. Now I'm all fucked up. Now I gotta look at this roster again. God damn it.
Yo, you ready for my team since you can't figure it out?
Hit me.
All right. So my captain is going to be, if we're just going off of people, we're going to take us some dual Kevin as our captain.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Surrounded by Mr. Commander Jesse.
Okay.
And because you left him a free agent, Smug.
Okay. All right. Because I can't pick him. He's off my team. You can't have 801 and Smug on the same team. I'm sorry.
And the reason I picked this team is that you're never going to ban Dawson.
No,
right?
You wouldn't
there's just no reason to. And while you may be, and so it becomes a save Laura situation where you only think that dual Kevin can play Rashid, so you just keep banning Rashid. And then you've got Commander Jesse and Smug in the sidelines being like, yo, what's up?
All right. My number 3 then.
And then if you don't ban Rashid, you're going to ban like Balrog.
Yeah.
Right? And then you've got G and Dulcim still. I thought about this really hard today.
Yeah, no, that's a good team. Here's my lineup now.
Mm-hmm.
Strider, Samurai, Mike Too Strong.
Oh, you're just taking the r/Street Fighter Heroes team.
Oh yeah, I'm taking it. Because you're gonna ban Mike, you're gonna ban Samurai, you're gonna ban the Akuma, you're gonna ban G. You can pick that because that's the thing. They're all fucking killers with their perspective characters, so it actually doesn't matter if you ban them because at least 2 will be at full power.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, if you ban G, then Strider is at like 75% power because he'll still have Laura.
Yep. Although I don't know, Street Fighter League has shown that they know how to play against Laura.
Yeah.
They're all really scared of the Laura until they realized, wait, why are we banning Laura?
Yeah, that may be. I mean, he did some work, but also Laura was not the problem. As it turns out, Akuma is a very strong character in this fighting game, and it pays to have.
Akuma's trash. Only Takedo wins with it.
Only Tokido, which this is kind of an aside, but it was something that I saw online that just made me laugh. Is that everyone likes to joke about how Fudo gets second place. He's like the world's bridesmaid, right? He can't get first. He's only second. And then it was pointed out that, in fact, Tokido has the most second place finishes with 10 second place. So, in fact, at being second place, Fudo is, in fact, second place. Which
Poor
is just,
Fudo.
It warms my heart. I love that man. I love seeing that man. He's the best.
All right, I have a real question for you. I'm taking over your show.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Who do you think is the most improved person of the 2019 season compared to the 2018 season performance?
Ooh.
And I feel like there's only like 3 real answers, but I'll let you pick.
I think I don't know. Dual Kevin, I think is.
Did he compete last year?
He's an answer. No, he did. I mean, because he competed last year, but also like he didn't travel much, and like he was in the R Street Fighter weeklies too. Mm-hmm. So it's like he was out there. He's been putting in work, but like now he's like, I mean, clearly he's a worldwide threat, and people know that name. That could be an answer.
I mean, statistically, we've named all of them.
I know, Because like the thing is, I don't think Samurai is the answer, because Samurai has always been strong. I don't think that like Up to Snuff is the answer, because he's always been strong. I don't think that. I
would like to point out that like on the Capcom ranking board,
Classico.
He's not in the. He's not qualified yet.
Okay.
So the ones that I was gonna start talking about was Mr. JB.
Yeah, that's probably that's a good answer.
And 801 Strider at 12th.
See, I don't think that's true. I just think that Strider was just like not putting in as much last year. But
all right, then JB I think is a very honest.
Yes.
Like at 445 points, he's not set, right? Like he could very easily fall out.
Right.
But I think there's something to be said about what they put. I think one of the reasons why everybody wants to go to Street Fighter League is because they see that there's something in that cereal.
Oh yeah.
There's something that they serve at that breakfast that gets you CPT points.
There's magic in the air for sure. Well, because also like the things that we don't see at Street Fighter League, and the things that all of these players will talk about, is that the week of which they film all that stuff, because I'm breaking movie magic, folks. They're not.
Oh yeah, it was filmed in 1 week. If you guys didn't realize,
if it wasn't obvious at the time, breaking kayfabe, is that the stories that you'll hear everyone say is, we just had a really fun time playing Street Fighter with each other and like learning throughout the week and just enjoying each other's company and just like hanging out playing fighting games. And you're playing with like literally a handful of the best players in America. The US, let's say. Not all of the Americas. There's other parts of America that are also super strong. But they're all in one place and they're all learning from each other and they're all improving. So like seeing any of those people go from Street Fighter League to do well early on in this CPT is like, well, fucking right. That tracks. Like they went into the hyperbolic time chamber and they came out changed in some way.
Mm-hmm. 7 people from Street Fighter League are in the top 50 on the Capcom leaderboard. Only 2 of them are captains.
I mean, that's worth thinking about. You also have to think
only
about like
Punk and Knuckle Dew are captains. The other 5 are Shine, JB. Oh, I forgot Idom's a captain. So 3 of them are captains. My bad. Shine, JB, Idom, Punk, Knuckle Dew. I believe Dual Kevin is now in the top 50. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dual Kevin's in the top 50 for 210 points. And I think there was one other person. Nope. Yeah, so 7 people. Brian F. Brian F at 38th. Right. So that's impressive. Like these were not guys. A lot of these guys were not close. And like I said, you know, when you get for like Shine and below 190 points, like you're not guaranteed shit. Yeah. Right. And like I said, a large portion of these people are not in the cut right now. But the fact that they're in the conversation, when like last season, I think Brian F only had 140 points the whole season. Right? 102. So Brian F has increased his point game by 38 points.
And we're early.
They could put a tear on Evo, right?
There's a lot of ranking events out there. We've got more super premieres now. Yep.
But like think of it this way: you have players who went to this like week-long, effectively like summer camp type thing, who then like leveled up like insanely.
Oh yeah, no,
it's like oh man, if you put the best people in the same place, like Shine has has more points now than he had his entire season.
Yeah,
last season.
Very true. I actually would like to see a young boy Chris CCH out there. I would love to see him involved in some way.
I'm pretty sure that either by the qualifying tournaments, because I don't know exactly how they're doing everything this time around. I don't know because like I saw that Nephew, right, has to now re-qualify. Right. So last season, the captains were chosen because they were the top 8. Was it top 6
Yeah, they were the top
Capcom
6
leaderboard
within the
for
US.
North America. Yeah. So obviously, we're only keeping the top 4 teams, something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. But
so then that means that we need 4 new captains, which I have no idea how they're picking those.
No. I think they've said by CPT ranking, so it's whoever is already a captain from the CPT. So like Punk, obviously not. He's already a captain, so he's within top 6. So
so it's the same.
I would assume.
Interesting.
Because they did say that it would be based on CPT ranking. Now.
So then if Punk and Do are already still captains because they were.
Yeah, then you just take the other.
Then it would be Strider.
Yeah.
It'd be like Strider. I think JB's team is still a team, and I think Shine's is still a team, and Dual Kevin's on a team. Then it would be like Strider, Terrence, Tommy, Ludwig.
Maybe.
And then Chris CCH. Then if the people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you skip Samurai, right? So if they have to fill it depends on how many slots they need to fill. But if they have to fill only 2, then it's Strider and Terrence.
Yeah, We'll see. We'll see however they choose to cut it. Because also you have to consider that there's the online tournaments that they're running, which starts. Let me look at the watch.
But I think that's
this weekend. By the way.
But what I'm thinking is that I think it's going to be the last number of ones. So it's going to be you have your captains and they're chosen from the CPT. Then there was players that were chosen by winning the tournaments. And then there's players that are chosen by being voted in. Because I believe Broly Lake, Shine,
and
Brian F were all... I forget who the other ones were. But I know Shine, Broly Legs, and Brian F were voted in.
Yes, correct.
So I think it's a combination of the two. I think you start campaigning now because that way by the time the tournaments are over, if you didn't win, you've been campaigning, right?
Yeah,
you're not fuck, I now only have 2 weeks to campaign.
Yeah, you can be taken off the list, but it doesn't hurt to start campaigning now. If you want on, which is now open, and those links are now available.
We can put them in the doobly-doo.
Yeah, they'll be, wherever you go to click on things in relation to however you're listening to this.
So are you happy with this? Are you happy with Street Fighter League? Or do you want the format to change? Are you one of those
Honestly,
people that thinks the bans have to go? Do you not like the relay race?
I would just like it. No, I like the relay race. I think that's probably, the order is probably the most interesting part about it. I like that they... because it allows everyone to get a little bit of time on screen at some point and show off what they have. What I think they probably ought to do is add another rule to the ban that makes it more interesting. Be it you can't ban the same character more than once, because everybody plays 2 times, so maybe the next time you play them, you can't ban the same character. Even
I'm only worried about that because I think that makes it a little too show matchy.
But you still get your ideal ban. Well, here's the thing: do you do your ideal ban first, or do you do it in the second time? It adds
fair. I just think. I think that for the first year, I think you keep the bans as is. I think that if you look at it the way JB said on my show, where he was to be honest, if you're a character loyalist, so like JB and Rashid,
right?
If you don't get to play Rashid, you're just going to be you're still going to be a pro player. But if you have to play against anybody who isn't banned out, then you're screwed, right? If JB has to play his, I don't know, fucking Birdie, right? Versus Shine's Jury. Then I think it's a fair matchup, right? It's 2 pro players. They're not playing their main character, but they have equal skill as players. So it's an interesting match. But if Shine has to play his Jury, right, into Justin's Manat, I don't think that's a fair matchup.
Right. No,
and so what JB was saying is that you're just going to have those matchups happen. And if you're watching it for the entertainment factor, then that's fine. But you can't watch it for entertainment and also expect it to be competitive at the same time.
And also that loses their team overall points because it does go by like number of total losses, like by round. It's a whole culminating thing. It's not just did your team win. It's that, which is why the order matters, and it's a whole thing. So in that sense, I think the ban system is in my opinion, it's fucking whatever. But like the part about the ban system that I hate, here's what I actually hate about it, is that the event itself is not well marketed to people outside of the FGC that would make it interesting for them. Like, because the ban system is something that is interesting to watch, even if like you don't, it is probably the most interesting if you are not like well ingrained in the FGC, because people like me, I'm like, oh, I want to see like these people at the top of their game. I want to see top level play. Let's say I want the most competitive edge that you can have. Let's say I'm looking at it for that. I'm lost already. And that's a big chunk of the fighting game community, because we're all players who love competition. But
in fairness though, the views have been pretty, I mean, they haven't been eSports good. But like 20K, like between 7 and 20K, depending on like what's happening, that's like average like pool play.
It's
right?
fine. Yeah, it's fine. But the thing is, like, what if it was marketed
like sometimes
to
we're
more
hoping
people?
We're going to go back to the golden days of Street Fighter 4, where we were like, everything was like 100K. And I think like we need to accept that like we're not going to get back there again.
No, I don't think we are. I honestly,
I think for something like Street Fighter League, I think it's very hard to get it to be appealing for non-FGC people in its current format. Now, I think if it was a longer broadcast, right, which is hard to do because you're playing first to twos, right? Mm-hmm. I think that if they moved it to like a 2-day a week, which is, upping the cost, then what you would get is you would get the ability to have these something that could be more appealing to non-FGC people, because you could do more storytelling, right? Like, I think something that would be very cool is League of Legends used to do this thing called Eyes on Me. And it was like eyes on Hauntzer, eyes on Bjergsen. And it was like a micro documentary about these pro players in the league. And like, I think introducing that into your broadcast is a way that you get people to care, because you're not going to care about the FGC because this guy's the sickest fucking Manat on the planet, right? Like, this is realistically not going to happen.
Yeah.
You get people to care about Justin Wong because he's fucking Justin Wong. You get people to care about JB because like he like left the East Coast, and you tell that story of like leaving the East Coast and like acclimating to the West Coast and looking for opportunities and stuff. Mm-hmm. You tell Broly's story, which is super easy to fucking tell, right? Punk, right? His rise and fall and rise again, right?
Yeah.
He's a phoenix from the ashes. Like, you have all these really interesting stories about FGC players that aren't tied to teams, which is what you sometimes have to rely on in other esports. And so you have this way of like getting people interested in the Street Fighter League by storytelling. And while I think Virginia is doing an amazing job of the features that she's doing for the Capcom site, I don't think that those are going to inherently be the thing that draws in non-endemic people. And I think that if we could come up with a better thing, like maybe involving someone like myself or Born Free to do these sort of like video interviews to like maybe pull more story.
I'm with you on that.
Then I think you could pull people who aren't necessarily invested.
Right.
I also think that we should probably steal from CEO and have people do fucking WWE walkouts.
Yeah, let them do their own intros. Let them have more screen time.
I just want them to have more screen time and more personality, because I think that that's the thing you sell us on.
Here's the one production thing.
Voted in a third of the people.
Here's the production thing. Here's my one note for the show. Even if you do no other editing in your show other than this, is that because they did this in every episode, and it bothered the fuck out of me. And a lot of people were like, why does this feel so awkward? And it's when immediately after the match, they cut to, and they mic up the room. They put it on the room mics so that they can hear the teams whispering to each other of what their strategies are. All it would have taken to solve this problem, here's what it takes. If you're Capcom, if you're listening, get 2 boom mics. Have it over top of the players, so you get good audio from both teams. Also, and this is super important that you have to do this before you cut to that audio, have one of the announcers say, all right, now let's go to the teams and see what their strategy is for the next set. Literally, just that. Have that. Actually, if you just take that clean voice sample of me saying that and just plug that in, that's fine. You have my full consent. This is my full audio consent of taking that voice clip and just imposing it on that moment, so people aren't just like, wait a minute, why is it silence right now? Why is nobody talking? Because then it's just them going, okay, I gotta. Yeah. He never tagged in that situation, so he never. Just
I think that's because I actually honestly think that's the headset mic.
Oh, because I don't think. Yeah, I agree. They need to boom them. Get a boom mic. That's all you need.
Yeah, I think that they could set up. I think in a way they wanted to have that feel that you're listening into what's being said.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like in esports, we have in League of Legends, we have something called mic check, right? Which is just like funny sound clips pulled from like the players talking to each other before the match starts.
Yeah. Have that.
So I don't know why we don't. I feel like I said, I think it's more about trying to emulate. I think there's ways, and like I've been saying this a few times. There's from different comments that people have made on my show. Logan said that I think there's things that we could learn from esports that we could do our own way.
I agree with that.
And I think we know what we want to borrow from esports, and you can see it in season 1. I think season 2 and hopefully season 3 is about figuring out how we FGCify these things.
Now, let me hit you with this one, because you said something that when I heard it, I agreed with it, but then I thought about the current markets that we're in. But what you said was, we're not going to get Street Fighter 4 numbers, which I agree with. That was a huge game at the time, but the Twitch market has totally changed. There's so many other games out there that have drawn competitive viewership. People who just like come to Twitch. There are different deals being made on like who is being promoted on Twitch. Is Capcom even being promoted on? Is Street Fighter 5 even like the thing that is showing up in people's feeds? That I don't know. It becomes a much more difficult question to answer, is if we will ever hit like those numbers again, which again, like I don't necessarily think it's there, and call that defeatist, but maybe if we get more, like you said, like more people supporting other good content, maybe that will draw in more viewers, but I don't know. I just think it was a different time. And I don't know if it's ever going to go back to that, because look at the competition now. League of Legends is huge.
Yeah.
Like, there are other games, like Overwatch League is huge. Dota is huge. It's enormous. And like all the other stuff is still there. Like Counter-Strike is still enormous. But I don't know. Again, like it's maybe those, and like not even just that, but like you said earlier, Ninja is huge. Tons of viewers every day. Mr. Disrespect is huge. It doesn't matter. The viewership is enormous, and it's only taking eyes off of that to watch something else. And if it's here's the thing where we might have already shot ourselves in the foot. Now you take that very like lackadaisical onlooker who doesn't give a fuck what they're watching, because they're just whatever they're watching. It's just the biggest thing at the time. And then you tell them, well, there's this really good Street Fighter 5 event going on. They say, doesn't that game suck dick? Isn't it terrible? Like in a bad way? And it's like, well.
Oh, I mean, like I've said this on Twitter. I don't know if I said this on the show the last time I was on. Street Fighter 4 was 3 years ago. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, there's also that. I mean, that turns into a whole other conversation of like.
I don't want to have that conversation, but like it when you said shoot yourself in the foot, I think the Street Fighter community definitely did that. I think that there are people in the Street Fighter community who like don't understand that like you don't have to like Street Fighter 5. But the fact that you guys keep tweeting dead game is garbage, game is trash, this game sucks, this game isn't Street Fighter 4, like, I don't see that in the Tekken community.
That's true.
Right? I don't see a bunch of NRS players being like, man, MK11 is not MK10 or MK9. right? Like, we're so fucking spoiled. Like, and so it makes people think that the game is trash because the people who like it's the same thing that happened to Marvel. All these people are like, oh, it looks bad. It's so bad. So everybody just assumed it was bad because the people who it's supposed to be made for are saying it's bad. But the people who play Marvel love it.
Yeah. That's the thing about that game is that's kind of a fun game. It's kind of a fun game to play.
I think that's the thing that maybe we as a community need to look at ourselves and say, like, what are we do like? Because here's the thing: as much as y'all like to talk about how esports is bad, y'all sure do love making money playing video games.
I would love to make money playing video games.
So what I'm saying is that y'all have to realize that you need to do the things that need to be done for it to be like the money's not just going to grow off of a tree. Right? So like so that we don't have like a 3-hour episode. The whole summary of everything that I have to say.
Yeah, show your whole ass. Show your whole ass here. Let's see it.
To content creation, to everything is show the love.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to click on every article. You don't have to watch every video, but let people know. Be very, very vocal. Be as vocal about the shit you hate as you are. Be as vocal about the shit you love as the shit you hate. That's what you wanted to say. I got you. I feel you on that. I definitely feel you on that wave. Be as
totally.
Vocal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because the thing is like we think of it like Yelp, right? When you look on Yelp, you know, all these like hospitals all have like 1 star. And you know why? Because nobody goes to the hospital, has their life saved, and then goes home and goes on Yelp.
Right. That's accurate.
Right? You didn't get in like a 10-car pileup, go to the hospital, have your life saved, and go home and be like, Samaritan Hospital was the greatest hospital ever. They saved my life, even though I caused a 10-car pileup. Nobody writes that shit.
5 stars.
But when you go to the emergency room and it takes you like 6 hours to get a piece of glass taken out of your foot, and you know it's the worst experience of your life, you 100% on Yelp like, fuck Samaritan Hospital. Waited in the emergency room for 6 hours before anybody helped me. 1 star.
Here's another thing that I love that I think is comparable is like a probably very good and useful item on Amazon that has like 20 or so 1-star reviews, and all of those 1-star reviews are item didn't show up. Where it's like, wait a minute, you're gonna dunk on something that you haven't even looked at, you haven't even touched, you haven't played the game. Like, is that all right? Whatever. All right, Amazon reviews. This is hilarious. All right, no, I'm with you on that, and it's one of those things that, again, if you walk away from this podcast with anything, it's just to share and support the things that you do love. That's all we ask. And maybe planting that seed early enough will bloom into continued growth for the fighting game community in the future. I think we're on the right path. I think a lot of people have wised up. But we'll see. We're in it, and we definitely need support. So at that, I'm gonna call it. I say that that is an episode. But before we go, we've already had you on the show, so we won't ask you the typical question. But I will pitch it to you to say if there's anything that you have going on, any fire you want to spit, now is your chance, Amanda.
No, I mean, check out The Neutral. I've been on hiatus since some personal matters. We're coming back, I think, next week. I have Jackie on, great Canadian.
The Vancouver.
Street Fighter commentator. We're also going to be doing some EVO preview content. I've lined up people like Markman to talk about the history of Tekken at EVO.
Oh,
so that'll be on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, that'll be good.
And then, like I said, I'll be at Defend the North, where I will be doing a bunch of I'll basically just be doing a bunch of experimental stuff. So it'll still be the dope interview content that you guys hopefully have come to expect from me. But we will also be doing a bunch of experimental Twitter posts, trying Snapchat, trying Instagram. We're going to be trying a bunch of different things so that I know what you guys like. Just like when I made that post in the Reddit, I need feedback, guys. I want to make content that you enjoy and want to watch. And the only way I can do that is if you guys talk to me. Mm-hmm. So when I do Defend the North stuff, tell me if it's doo-doo or tell me if it's good so I know I can keep doing it.
Yep. And the same goes for this show as well. Listener, please, feedback is always great. I think next week, I can't guarantee what the show will be. I might have one or two other people on during the show, or it might be an only user questions, which, by the way, if you do have questions, write into the show. The email address is rsfradioquestions@gmail.com. So write in whatever you want. I'll answer any and all questions. If it's about production, if it's about Street Fighter, or like what my dog is like, I'd be very happy to talk about that. And I'm hoping to do, hopefully whenever I do that episode, will also be the live caller episode. Nice. I wanted to do that today. I'm sorry if you guys were excited for that, but I have to figure all this stuff out first, and I believe I have a system now that I think can work. So maybe look forward to that next week. But again, like Amanda is doing, this is some experimental shit, and it will very likely break. But anyway, Amanda, it was a pleasure talking to you again.
It was always a pleasure.
Thank you for your time on the show, and I wish you the best in the future. But that is a show. You can find her at Amanda TN Stevens on Twitter.com, or any of the notes that will be in the neutral. I was about to say in the show notes down below. We'll link the Patreon, all that good shit. That's the show, folks. You can find me at Super Joe Monday or at RedditSF on Twitter.com, or Joe_Monday on Reddit, or just, make a rude statement on our Street Fighter and I'll catch it in the mod filter. So I'll see you there. Don't think I don't. That's the show, folks. We will see you next time on another edition of RSF Radio. But until then, take care.